Here we see Lenny, right after killing Curly's wife, running into the bush, because that's what George said to do if he was in trouble. So Lenny clearly remembered what George said.
I didn't forget, you bet. Goddamn, hide in the bush and wait for George. George gonna give you hell. George gonna wish he was alone and not have me bothering him. I could go right off there and find a cave. Okay.
This is another callback to the start of the book when Lenny said that if George was finding him annoying, he could just go off into a cave and live there.
I'll go away. I'll go away.
And I told you, and I told you. I told you, Min George, because he's such a nice fella and good to you. But you don't never take no care. You do bad things.
I tried, Aunt Clara, ma'am. I tried and I tried. I couldn't help it.
All the time, he could have had such a good time if it wasn't for you. He would have took his pay and raised hell in a whorehouse. And he could have sat in a pool room and played snooker. But he got to take care of you.
The reason why Aunt Claire says this is because George made a promise with Aunt Claire that he would protect and watch over Lenny at all times, so that he wouldn't cause any other people harm or cause himself harm.
I know, Aunt Clara, ma'am. I'll go right off in the hills and I'll find a cave and I'll live there so I won't be no more trouble to George.
You just say that. You're always saying that, and you know, son of a bitch, well, you ain't. Never gonna do it. You'll just stick around and stew the bejesus out of George all the time.
10 rabbits. You crazy bastard. You ain't fit to lick the boots of no rabbit. You'd forget him and let him go hungry. That's what you'd do. And then what would George think?
I would not forget.
The hell you wouldn't. You ain't worth a grease jack pin to ram you into hell. Christ knows George done everything he could to jack you out of the sewer, but it don't do no good. If you think George gonna let you tend rabbits, you're even crazier than usual. He ain't. He's gonna beat the hell out of you with a stick. That's what he's gonna do.
He ain't neither. George won't do nothing like that. I've knew George since I forgot when, and he ain't never raised his hand to me with a stick. He's nice to me. He ain't gonna be mean.
Well, he's sick of you. He's gonna beat the hell out of you and then go away and leave you.
He won't. He won't do nothing like that. I know George. Me and him travels together.
He gonna leave you crazy bastard. He gonna leave you all alone. He gonna leave you crazy bastard.
He ain't. I tell you, he ain't. Oh, George, George, George.
For a book called Of Mice and Men, there aren't a lot of mice, but there sure are a lot of rabbits. I don't have a rabbit, so I just use my cat instead.
What the hell are you yelling about? Okay,
You ain't gonna leave me, George. I know you ain't.
No.
I know that you ain't that kind. George,
Yeah.
I done another bad thing.
Don't make no difference.
George,
Yeah.
ain't you gonna give me hell?
Give you hell.
Sure, like you always done before. Like, if I didn't have you, I'd take my $50.
Jesus Christ, Lenny. You can't remember nothing that happens, but you remember every word I say.
Well, ain't you gonna say it?
If I was alone, I could live so easy. I could get a job and not have to mess.
Go on.
And when the end of the month come,
And when the end of the month come, I could take my $50 and go to a cat house. Go on, George. Ain't you gonna give me no more hell?
no.
Well, I can go away. I'll go right off in the hills and find a cave if you don't want me.
No, I want you to stay with me here.
Tell me like you done before.
Tell you what,
About the other guys and about us.
guys like us got no family. They make a little steak and they blow it in. They got nobody in the world that gives a hoot in hell about them.
But not us.
But not us.
Because,
We got you and
I got you. We got together. That's what gives a hoot in hell about us.
take off your hat, and Lenny, the air feels fine.
Tell how it's gonna be.
Look across the river, Lenny, and I'll tell you so you can almost see it. We're gonna get a little place.
Go on. Go on.
How's it gonna be? We're gonna get a place. A little place. We'll have a cow, and we'll have maybe a pig and chickens, and down the flat we'll have a little piece of alpha.
Although this isn't necessarily intentional, I like to think it is. You can hear the uneasiness in George's voice as he talks to Lenny, because he knows what he has to do, and us, the reader, are kind of getting hints.
For the rabbits.
For the rabbits.
And I get to tend the rabbits
You get to tend the rabbits.
and live on the fat of the land.
Yes. No, Lenny. Look down there across the river. Like you can almost see the place.
Go on, George. When are we gonna do it?
Gonna do it soon.
Me and you.
You and me, everybody gonna be nice to you. Ain't gonna be no more trouble. Nobody gonna hurt nobody nor steal from them.
Thought you was mad at me, George.
No, Lenny, I ain't mad. I never been mad. I ain't, no. That's a thing I want you to know.
Let's do it now. Let's get that place now.
Sure, right now. We gotta. George! Where you at, George? George!
Got him, by God. Right in the back of the head. Never you mind. A guy got to sometimes. How'd you do it?
I just did it?
Did he have my gun?
Yeah, he had your gun.
And you got away from it and you took it and you killed him?
That's how I did it.
I think we all know what George is feeling right now. The person who was supposed to protect Lenny ended up being the person who killed him. But he knew it was the right thing to do. Come on, George. You and me will go get a drink.
Yeah, a drink.
You had it, George. I swear you had it. Come on with me. Now what the hell you suppose is eating them two guys?
I don't know.
And so concludes this short. Before this video ends, I want to clarify why I chose this chapter of the book. First of all, I like the fact that it has the most callbacks in the entire book, or at least from what I've seen. I think it has the most callbacks to the start of the book and even some parts in the middle, and I really like that. And second, it is one of the only chapters or parts in a book that actually made me feel uncomfortable. Just seeing what George had to do to Lenny did not feel right, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And I think that's amazing. And yeah, that's why I chose it, so yeah.